Hey guys, welcome back to Terps Esports. My name is Hayden.
I'm Lily. And today we have a matchup with our Lilac team against New England College. So they're already in game, so we'll be heading to that footage very shortly. And here we are immediately into the first round. Keep in mind we only have our own team's point of view, so that'll be a little bit of an interesting thing to work around this game. But nonetheless, here we are. It looks like Lilac is planning on attacking C site quickly, as Linify makes her way on with that jet dash. She hasn't spotted any defenders yet, although there are shots coming in from that spawn side, so that's certainly a thing to keep your eye on as Linify continues to hold that angle. And right now it just looks like the team is playing post plan as Linify finally spots someone for the first time. She does get taken down though. Pomegranate on the other side also quickly to follow up with that, and it is just a bloodbath. UMD not able to hold down this site, and they all just lost their individual fights there. It's all up to Salty Soap, who gets shot in the smoke, and they're going to be able to get this diffused down.
Yes, that was a really tricky situation too, because as soon as UMD just attacks site, it's New England College, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Sure. They all just like left off site, so then they can start applying pressure from different sides, from waterfall, CT, and if they had a lurker coming around from flank, they could also apply pressure there, but they just did very well just playing retake from waterfall and CT.
Yeah, it's hard to tell again what the other team is doing because we don't have their point of view, so we're just going to speak to the best we can based on what we see. It does look like they're planning to execute B site this time. They have a little bit of KG utility to work around. Luna gets shot down, but the trade does come through. The trades go back and forth, but ultimately UMD ends up in a numbers down situation. Sky Flash is just making things so difficult, and yet again, UMD just all dies at the same time, not able to get spiked down that round even.
Yeah, this is kind of a slow start from UMD here. I mean, they got to do something to, pick up the pace a little bit, because they're going in, and within like maybe 30 seconds of the round, they started to drop lives. But I think they can definitely turn something around here with their first buy round.
Yeah, and they're going to have to. If it's going to be any round to get things going, it's got to be your buy round, as I think they just had Classics in the previous round, but up against Vandals. So hard to deal in that situation. But now they'll have Vandals in hand, hopefully to pull something off. Looks like they're going to go back towards that C site, which they were able to get spiked down, but not find that round win.
Yeah, and we do apologize for any technical difficulties or lagging here with the stream. It's kind of an unorthodox way of streaming, as we're being seen the coach's perspective through a Discord call. There's a little bit of an issue going on with the other team, so we will not have an observer point of view from our studio tonight, but we'll do the best we can to get you guys the entertainment you deserve.
Giraffe finds an opening pick onto the C site, and looks like that's going to give a lot of space for her team to be able to get that spike down. Once again, there's a lot of retake things happening in from the spawn side, as it looks like UMD is going to swing that together once they formulate a good approach to that, but it's not going to work out. Once again, they just cannot hold down this site after bomb goes down. Luna, though, is the only one who's making any sort of effort here defending, and Giraffe finds 3 for the round. So Laura and Giraffe coming in huge for their team. I think they're the only two who found any sort of picks that game. But man, finally they're able to stop this retake.
Yeah, it was a very chaotic start to the round, because they were flooded with util, especially the KJ swarm nades. I mean, it's a lot to deal with, but just being able to stay calm and collected and get that spike down and just set up for post plan. Especially good positioning from Luna Rouse there and Giraffe, being able to use their util to the fullest extent and stall as much as possible and use the advantage of their Vandals.
And despite the success they saw on the C site for the first time, looks like they're going to attempt A for the first time on the attack, as it looks like they're going to be able to hold on to most of the guns they still had, and they do have to clear a lot here, and it's just too much for Luna as the flash does come through. So they are playing a player down to start things off. Spike is not down yet, and Linify falling is not going to help things either. Giraffe quickly to follow, and looks like they're just pushed up onto site, being so aggressive On the defensive side, Soap finds one for herself, looking for a second, finds the second, just kind of runs away. I think she's going to try to play quietly, but not quiet enough as actually a Odin on the other side that takes her out.
Yeah, it was a very tricky situation there going into the A side. Because there's so many corners you have to check, and the sky flashes were on point from New England as well. So kudos to them. But Unity's got to do something. They lost the bonus round, but they should have enough to buy like full buy. I think I saw maybe like one light shield here and there, but
I'm just realizing we also don't have game audio for the moment, it looks like. So once again, apologies for that, but doing the best we can with what we have. This time UMD will be a little bit more passive on their attack. They spotted someone on A site, so that's information that Luna is going to have to relay to the rest of her team.
Yeah, the KJ being on C site is also big information, assuming that was the KJ using the Odin, because then that kind of, dictates that, okay, they have the KJ on C site, so there's bound to be 2 players on B and 2 on A, unless they're doing a 1-1-3 split.
And it looks like there is someone else spotted on B site. They don't know how many. They know there's 1A, 1B. So it's really anybody's guess as to where the rest of them are. I'm sure rotates are coming in for the other side. And UMD must know that as well, as it looks like they're planning on speeding up their A execute. Linify heading in front of the crowd. And Soap gets spotted. And the Sky is being so aggressive, not backing up from sight. Just trying to kill any UMD attackers that come her way. Linify dies, but Luna finally takes care of that Sky sitting on that site, which is going to lead to UMD having more success on that site. But regardless, they're going to rotate because I think they have the read that there's a lot of people heaven, but this Odin is sitting B, and Luna and Giraffe both get taken down as a result of that fast rotate by New England, and it's all up to Tuxedo Sam. She's gonna have to play the spike. I think she's gonna stick it, and was not able to get the spike down. Just good teamwork from the New England side, and they just kind of left UMD with not a lot of options.
Yeah, the Odin is becoming extremely annoying for UMD to kind of push past, because when you're spamming the Odin through doors, you're taking damage left and right, so you have to, kind of play your life a little bit there, because now you've already come into every engagement with a disadvantage, and then using the Odin as a way of just defense and spamming choke points. New England's using it right. There's nothing else I can really say about that.
And once again, it looks like UMD's taking the approach of just spreading out, trying to get any information before grouping together to hit a site. They don't even have spike in their hands. They just kind of want to see someone before they decide where they're going. And pushing up decently far. They have decent eyes on every site. KG utility is C. That's going to be a call out that Giraffe is making to the rest of her team right now, as her HP is quite low. And Odin once again takes out Linify. I believe for the second round in a row, this Odin's just been such a problem for UMD. And KJ keeps switching up what side she's setting up on, so that's not making anything any easier for the side of UMD. It looks like they're going to group up towards B. They could also, I don't think they're going to go C, just given that utility is there. And I think they're just trying to find a pick before making any decision.
Yeah, there's definitely, I don't know if you saw, but the Cypher threw her cam up, and it was shot almost immediately, so there's got to be somebody unbreakable. But the Odin, again, locking down C site.
It looks like we might get a timeout. Have a insider. I have a spidey sense we're going to get a timeout soon. I'm cheating. We have the coach's POV. But yeah, UMD's got to figure out something on this attack. I think their main issue so far has been the KJ, a combination of her Odin and also her setup.
Yeah, a lot of New England's players are playing really fast too as well, so UMD's got to be really reactive off of some of these really quick plays, and especially on A site with the Sky flashes. They kind of have to expect that and play accordingly.
Yeah, that Sky has really been locking down A. She's not playing passively or defensively at all. She's sitting on site and finding her picks and just holding her own ground down. Like you said, those flashes extremely dangerous because UMD likes to push as a team, likes to double swing, and that's really hard when you have a flash.
Yeah, New England's making Sky look like a sentinel almost. You know, and using the Raze nade as well. The Initiator Duelist combo is just really good at holding down that one choke point on A. I mean, I don't think they've really gone treat at all either. So maybe that's something we might see in the future in terms of an A hit.
Yeah, I do like the idea of going tree, because I think also if you have people going tree and through main, it eliminates the possibility of one Sky Flash catching everybody else on your team, and at least get a trade in if they're not able to take the Sky down with one player.
And I mean, typically Sky's been sitting on that little lane that you can see towards drop from tree, so if you can get a couple different angles on that, it's bound to work at some point.
Looks like they are going to push B. They do have to clear that corner that Linify has her eyes on, but hasn't fully cleared yet. A lot of initiator utility being dumped onto this B site. Omen Smokes goes down for Giraffe, and Linify does a good job clearing that little corner there. And they did see the Omen ultimate. Giraffe finds that pick on that Omen, though, taking that ultimate out of the game. Giraffe secures that plant. Cypher ultimate also used for the UMD side, so they have a ton of information to work off of. Tuxedo Sam's going to use that information to peek right into where those defenders are planning on retaking.
And what a shot by Tuxedo Sam too.
Yeah, and Salty Soap finds one for herself, and this Viper's just walking out into sight. Tuxedo Sam's not having any of that yet again. This Odin, it's 3v1, but keep in mind, versus this Odin, this is the player that UMD has been having these issues with. I don't think someone has spotted her yet, but they died, so she really could be anywhere. Could have walked. Yeah, I think they're trying to spread out, and I guess Spike is taking down Odin, not going down without a fight, and the Odin lives another day.
Yeah, that was a really good round there from UMD. I mean, utilizing that Cypher ult to just kind of like figure out where you're going to play on post plan and set up those crossfires. And beautiful defense by Tuxedo Sam there too. I mean, that headshot from there, as well as the off angle on the Viper later in post plan, that was really, really good positioning by her.
Yes, and UMD just, again, it has to be aware that Odin is still in play, and this KJ has been flipping sites like crazy. So yeah, they were able to find a round. They put it at, they keep decreasing the deficit that they have to overcome, but they gotta hold on to these guns a little better than they have been, and it's hard because New England's really doing a good job. Even if they don't win the round, they kill almost everybody on our team after the spike detonates. So a little bit UMD has to think about, but the timeout seemed to work. Oh, and time has stopped momentarily, so I think we have a potential tech pause going on.
Either looks like it's Giraffe that maybe DC'd or somebody from New England.
No, I'm not sure. Hopefully we get back into the game quickly. But this game is also important for keeping up Lilac's NECC season. They've been doing pretty well, and they have to keep winning these games, especially as we get later into the season, to continue to get like playoff opportunities and such. So every game at this point in the semester for any team in the NECC is becoming increasingly more important. So this is certainly an important game. I know Lilac really does want to come out with a win on this one. So hopefully they're using this time to talk about strategies a little bit and, you know, what they can improve. I know they just had a timeout, so they're getting a lot of time to talk about what they want to do next.
Either that or just jumping on the box repeatedly.
Yeah, that looks fun too. Keeping your fingers warm.
Yeah, I know I fall victim to doing that as well, so.
Okay, I'm not sure if we're ready yet. Yep. Okay, we are ready.
Like we are good. Maybe opting for another B push. B has been working out pretty well for them the last couple rounds. They just got to be wary of this Odin spam here and the Viper ult. The Viper ult could be very deadly in terms of retake.
Yeah,
as well as the Razor too.
Yeah, KJ did a great job of spamming there. She didn't find any damage yet, but that could be really dangerous, and especially now that the read is through that UMD is attacking on B site. Trade does come through for UMD, putting things at 4v4. Looks like they made leeway onto B site, but they might branch out into the C side to find picks, but it's not going to work as Giraffe does get taken down. Soap is looking to trade her, but instead it's a Luna that finds one for herself. Soap backing up into site, with eventually falls. And now it looks like Tuxedo Sam's been flashed off of the site. Both of the UMD players forced off of their own spike. They just have to use any of their utility to deter a plant from happening. What a shot from Tuxedo Sam into that smoke. It's going to let Laura push up even further and find the third of her round. There's just one player left on the New England side. Spike is ticking down, so now suddenly the advantage is in UMD's court, and especially as Luna uses the Fade utility to her advantage to secure her 4th kill of that round.
And both players falling to the spike, but it's no problem because they're still sitting well on economy. But you know, in this day and age, or in this stage of the game, you really need to focus up on economy, because I don't know if you saw it, but look at where New England was. They're upwards of like 6K, 7K, so you really got to stop that advantage that they have. But they've been able to pull back the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, and UMD's thinking our B hit is great, our post plant is great, so we're gonna keep on going B. Viper ult though is down for the New England side, so UMD's gonna immediately back up, reconsider where they want to push, and looks like that'll be A site for the moment. And Soap's just trying to use her cyber cam, trying to get any more information that she can. I don't think anybody has really spotted any defenders yet. So it does look like they're kind of going into A site a little blind in terms of information here, with the exception of knowing that Viper Pit is sitting B.
Yeah, and they kind of have to assume that KJ is also sitting C too, but that Sky, like always, just holding down A site.
Yeah, they gotta be careful of that Sky. They also have to be careful of the people sitting Heaven, as UMD's way numbers down in a 3v4. Spike has come down, so let's see what UMD's able to do on this post plant. And it looks like Giraffe's gonna come into a judge, and UMD has to be aware of that retake from that side, as both of the UMD attackers are left cornered into tree. Omen smoked off. They're gonna have to be aggressive out of the smoke, and they're using any utility they can, but it's so hard with the Viper mollies. Regardless, they're trying to push up. What a shot from Soap. Another one. Can she get the ace? It's a 1v1. Spike is planted. She's gonna have to play this perfectly, and the HP is not there.
That was a very good try. I just don't think she was really like expecting that raise to push up that quick, and it did kind of suck that the smoke went down like at the very perfect time to catch her off guard even more.
Yeah, I think if she just had a little bit more HP, she could have won that. But like you said, I don't think she was expecting that raise to peek into her so quickly. So I don't think her crosshair was in the place she would have wanted it to be. As UMD loses their first round for a couple rounds here. They're on a bit of a run, but hopefully they can get back on that track.
Yeah, they still did do a lot of damage to New England's economy. I mean, previously they were sitting at like 6 or 7K. Now most of them are around 3K to 4K.
And Linify gets taken down early. That's UMD's duelist down, their only duelist. And regardless, looks like UMD's pushed up pretty far, once again playing the information game before taking the spike anywhere. And they're gonna have to figure out, probably rely on their Fade and Breach utility to help them make entryway onto site, as their only duelist gets taken down early. I don't think they've really spotted anybody on either site. The Omen smokes for the defensive side have came down onto B site, so it does look like Luna is going to use her Breach utility to disorient the Sky that we all know is sitting on A site. Leoden yet again being so deadly on C site. I feel like that KJ has been C pretty consistently recently. So that's something UMD has to keep in mind for future rounds as Luna peeks out. Salty Soap looks for the trade, but with only a Sheriff in hand, it's not quite doable. Now Tuxedo Sam's the only player left in a 1v5. She has Spike, but it's going to be so hard with all this utility and her location revealed, and that Sky, who's always sitting on A, able to take down Tuxedo Sam.
Yeah, that Odin left and right has just been causing so many problems, and they just really gotta... UMD just really has to figure out what to do. Either go the opposite side of the KJ and try to fight the Sky, or challenge it, or even go B. I mean, they've had a lot of comfortability on B, but they just haven't really been able to get there because, one, they had the Viper ult to deal with, and two, they didn't really have good guns last round. So it looks like they're going to try to hit it again.
And this time the Omen, who is usually B, is being a little bit more aggressive with his utility. Linify again getting taken down early into the round by the Rays for the second time in a row. I think UMD, knowing that Odin is probably sitting C, is going to rotate fast to A. I really hope they decide to hit this through tree as well, just to take down that Sky. And they know that Sky is on site. They also know that there's people sitting in heaven right now, as Luna's able to find that Sky. She tries to make her escape through ropes, and that's going to let UMD be able to plant Spike, it looks like, and play post plant.
And they got to be really wary of the Viper here. I think the Viper was on site as well, somewhere.
And UMD just getting taken down left and right as they try to swing into their post plant fights. Tuxedo Sam gets taken down. Luna finds one, but this Odin is just refusing to die. Odin keeps coming back, and even though they play C, that KJ just rotates so quickly.
Yeah, now we're going into the last round of the half before a little bit of a switch. We'll have to see what happens in the second half. I mean, you know, UMD does have a pretty balanced comp, so they can play either side. They just got to be really, really good about using the breach stun in combination with Fade's utility.
Yeah, especially when Linify gets taken down like that quickly, it's all up to those two initiators to make way onto site, and they've been doing a good job throwing down their utility. I think it just they're missing that final piece of actually like getting that kill, or finding that round when they're close, but they gotta just make something click here.
Yeah, and they're consistently going through A main. I don't think I've seen any tree pressure. Now, they know the Sky is at tree, so this would be the perfect time to take tree and then collapse on them on site.
It looks like they're kind of, just sitting main. They might go B here. I wouldn't be surprised unless they do get a pick on the Sky, and hopefully they're going to double swing this. They have to be aware of these flashes that have been so deadly to them. Flash comes through. Soap gets taken down by that Raze on the flank. Giraffe, though, with the Bulldog turns around and finds that trade. I think she thinks there's more flank as well, and this Judge is just such an issue from the B site. And so is this Odin, who's also B-side. Giraffe just has a Bulldog and up against a Vandal. Hard to do much of anything there. And now we are at 9-3 as UMD is going to head on the attacking side, or on the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, New England is utilizing a lot of these really unorthodox guns like the Judge and the Odin. I mean, the Omen has, the Omen has enough money to get a Vandal, but they've been opting to get a Judge. And so far throughout this game, they've had pretty good positioning with the Judge, and the Odin kind of speaks for itself too at this point.
Yeah, and now that we're on the other side of this, I can confidently not be afraid of caster cursing. Hopefully there's a 9-3 curse going on. I think that's what UMD's hoping for as they get onto the defensive side, and they can kind of take their foot off the gas a little bit in terms of being pressured to win these fights, being pressured to get onto site quickly, to kill everyone on site. I think they're going to have hopefully more success in their composition
definitely.
on defense.
And now it's their turn to use a lot of these really unorthodox guns. I mean, they have a Jet. That's one gun. That's the Operator. You have a Cypher who can utilize the Odin very well, and you have basically any character that could use the Judge. Anybody could use the Judge as long as you have good positioning. But we'll definitely have to see how that plays out here. I mean, the defense on this map is kind of a hit or miss. Typically it's an attack sided map, but when you're on defense, you have a lot of leeway with what you can do.
And I really like the Cypher pick from UMD, especially now on the defensive side. I think especially C setups with Cypher are really good. And you get a lot of information off of that. And that is what UMD needs. They just need information to work off of. I think they're really good at working as a team once they have that information. But it's a matter of, rotating quickly, finding your picks in retakes. I think that's what's going to be the big deal for UMD, the thing that they should focus on heading into the defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the Cypher pick too. Cypher's really good on this map to combine. It looks like we just got back into the round, and I think UMD won the first round. And there might have been a little bit of a tech issue there, so we didn't see the first round. But good job to UMD for getting the pistol round. That's really sets them up coming into the second half.
Yeah, that must have been quick too, because we weren't gone for that long. So hopefully a decisive round for UMD. Linify being really aggressive on the A side. She doesn't quite see anybody yet, so she's probably calling out to her team, hey, I don't see them A, maybe we should rotate towards B, or that. I think that's what made Giraffe put down these Omen smokes on C. The Cypher is set up though on C side, so they have a little bit of insurance there.
Yeah, I think that Omen smoke may have hindered them a little bit, because now Cypher doesn't really have information from the cam.
Yeah, and right now the only thing they know for certain that Linify and Luna's telling them is that there are people quickly heading A side. Linify finds the first pick with a Bulldog in hand. I think pretty much everyone on the UMD has a Bulldog right now.
Yeah, Bulldog is such an underrated weapon, especially for a second round buy, because you get to take it into the third round, and it competes very well against some of these Vandals and Phantoms and even Guardians. Like, Tuxedo Sam has opted in for a Guardian. That's probably one of the best picks that you could have.
Yeah, and she spots this Viper pushing up B, and maybe they're planning a rotate towards B or potentially even C, but UMD has really not budged. They're doing a good job at not over-rotating, and that's going to serve them well, as the Cypher utility is going to slow down what looks to be a C push. And Salty Soap's able to find one. She does get traded off of that, leaving things pretty even at 3v3, but not for long, as Linify gets taken down by a Classic. That has got to hurt, as looks like Spike's going to be able to come down, but Giraffe from Waterfall coming in huge with her Bulldog, putting things at 2v2. There is a Bulldog and a Guardian for the UMD side, and it works together, as Tuxedo Sam able to find one with the Guardian. Knows where the KJ is though, so they're going to have to work together and pull off a double swing or something, and that is exactly what they do in order to secure that round for UMD.
Yeah, very good job on being patient from the Fade, not to use her utility, just because the KJ could catch a timing. I know I've fallen victim to that many times, where I would throw out a piece of util just to kind of guarantee the round, but I get timinged a little bit. So that was very good kind of patience from her, or from Tuxedo Sam, sorry.
Yeah, we can see by the scoreboard, Luna is fragging out for her team right now, and things are pretty even across the board. I want to see Linify start to really lean into her duelist role. I think on the last previous round, she had a lot of success showing that aggression, so it looks like she's planning on doing that yet again, this time with the Sheriff though. And there are going to be attackers coming that way, so she's going to hold down that angle with everything she's got right now.
She did get a little bit of damage. I think it was on the raise.
Yeah, she spots pretty much all of them. Luna gets taken out, but Linify finds that trade, and she's not done peeking, but with going up against a Vandal, it's hard to get much of anything with only a Sheriff. Giraffe still has a Bulldog, and she's backing up into that corner, which is going to force the New England side to clear that.
Unless, if you're New England, I think you just kind of have back up from here. You've gotten a lot of damage on the other side, but you've already taken a lot of damage, but I guess they haven't backed up yet, and if they're doing that now, maybe looking to go towards B site or even stay.
Yeah, it's unclear what they're doing right now. UMD, regardless, is going to set up people both A and B, and now looks like C, as that Fade Eye from Tuxedo Sam spot almost all of those attackers there, and now UMD's forced in a retake situation as they regroup everybody towards Waterfall. And they have to work around this Omen smoke as it dissipates, but another one follows up quickly in its footsteps. It's all up to Tuxedo Sam to use her Fade utility to make more space onto this site. And that's exactly what it's going to do. UMD finding so much success on that retake. Great job from UMD, and using that Fade utility, that made all the difference.
Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the chemistry of this team too. I saw everybody looking at different angles in different places, and it just worked out. Not everybody's looking at the same angle. They threw the one fade dog out, and it caught somebody, so they immediately knew where somebody was. But not everybody turned there, and I think maybe it was Giraffe that looked up towards and killed the Omen, I think.
Yeah, like you said, great team chemistry, great communication there of when we peek. You saw that moment of them, they got to be talking about it right before they peek out that smoke. Hey, I'm going to swing here, I'm swinging here, I'm throwing a dog here, and it worked out perfectly in their case, and UMD has yet to lose a round on the defensive side. Linify opting for that aggression. She's been doing every round this time, and Omen Smoke's going to be there to help her out, but it does look like there's a lot of B presence, a lot of utility being thrown down from the New England side. Tuxedo Sam certainly calling that out for the rest of her team, but UMD has a lot of utility to work with for this retake. That Sky Flash is going to give away their positioning though. Viper mollies to secure and make things more difficult for Giraffe there, and that's exactly what it's going to do. As Giraffe does get taken down, and many UMD players quick to follow in her footsteps, as now there's only 2 alive to pull off this retake, make that 1. Salty Soap finds 1 though, but it's going to be hard to work with this Omen Smoke. I wouldn't be surprised if she opted to look for exit picks here.
I mean, it's kind of what you should do, and I think somebody peeked out of that smoke. No, maybe not. But I did see a judge there, so it's really wise not to push that. But Salty Soap was not able to get enough distance from the spike and ends up dying to the spike. They're still sitting well economy wise though, so they can still buy. I really would like to see Linify maybe pull out an op sometime soon. I think that would really change the state of the game and make New England play a little bit more slower.
Yeah, we do have a timeout. I'm not exactly sure which side it's on. I wouldn't be so super surprised if it was on either side, honestly, considering UMD has had a bit of momentum, but they just lost their first defensive round.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that both teams might be talking about is, especially on New England, is that they gotta start combining their util. I mean, they were able to take B site really well, but that was like a 5-man rush, and they just kind of got lucky because nobody was really on B site. But the fight for breakable was also really good because they just spammed a bunch of util, and then the raise flank from A main was also really influential in pinching UMD there and netting, I think, about 2 or 3 kills.
Exactly. So this is so doable for UMD. They're only down 4 rounds, and they've had so much success on the defensive side. This is completely within their capabilities, and it does look like Linify is going to keep on opting for that Vandal, although, like you said, I would like to see her pull out a long-range weapon too. I think that would throw New England off guard. But for now, it looks like she's going to stick to the Vandal. The one-way is up with the help of Giraffe's utility. No one's going to peek out of that one-way quite yet, so that information is being spread across the board, I'm sure. It doesn't look like UMD has spotted much of anything yet, but the Omen ultimate gets taken down by the eyes of Salty Soap, so that's a big ultimate to get out of the play immediately. But I think UMD has the read that this might just be a B execute or potentially C. I think they could go either way. I think Spike is down C. Smokes are also down, and so is that Viper ultimate. That's going to make things incredibly difficult for the UMD side as they decide to retake from Waterfall and from that spawn side. And Linify almost able to take care of that high-low setup. Her teammates are there to help her out as she finds 1. UMD in a numbers up situation, 4v2, despite working through this Viper ultimate, though. It's going to be so hard for them as their HP is just dwindling, and what are you going to do in that Viper ultimate? And all those mollies just made it so hard. Honestly, that Viper probably won New England the round there.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the decay factor of the Viper ult. we saw one of the players on UMD just barely touch one of the mollies and immediately die because of that decay.
Yeah, great job by that Viper. Unlucky for UMD. Hopefully they can get their momentum back soon. This is where you got to do it. You don't want to let New England get to 12 because at that point, your only hope is to get into overtime.
Yeah, UMD does have some ults to work with here. I know New England's invested a lot of ults. They invested a Raze ult and the Viper ult last round. The Raze ult didn't get anything off of it, but the Viper ult definitely got some use out of it. And Linify does pop her Jet Knives, which could be very, very good, especially for stopping a push for A.
Yeah, speaking of the Jet Knives, Linify popped them but couldn't do much of anything with them as she gets shot, but great patience from Luna. Pulled out her classic and got a Vandal in return. So she's gonna hold down this A site. And I think she's trying to look Tree. Finds one Tree, tries to turn around quickly, cannot quite find the pick on there, but she's certainly done her part as UMD is at 3-on-3 in a retake, and it looks like people are going to group together both towards Heaven and through main. Sky Ultimate is popped though for New England, so UMB's location is more or less revealed, and UMB is going to have to start to act fast as the spike is ticking down. Cypher Ultimate gets used by the UMD side, going to leave so much information, but man, New England played that so well, just peeking out, not even letting UMD have time to think about that Cypher Ultimate information.
Yeah, and I think that wall from the Viper also helped a lot just by denying information and lines of sight, and also creating a little bit of decay, so it made it easier for New England just to pop them with 3 bullets and kind of spray that little choke point.
And now New England's at 12, so they're at match point, and again, check the scoreboard. This Raze has just been coming in huge for New England, 21 kills, I believe, and that's a big gap between their second frag, so UMD's got to consider heading into the next game of the series. How do you deal with that duelist pick on the other side? How do you counter that? And they do get the information that there is a KJ ultimate used towards B site, but Giraffe is not going down the other fight as she finds 2. She's only down to 8 HP. She's able to escape that KJ ultimate, but great job from her just dwindling down those numbers on the other side. Tuxedo Sam does get caught in the KJ ultimate, but I think she's more or less pretty safe in her positioning there. Salty Soap finds one. Tuxedo Sam responds with an ode, and Linify quickly to follow. And what a great round from UMD despite ultimates being used on the other side.
Yeah, they are still not out of this game. I mean, they do have an Odin ready for them, and they got a flawless too, so that means they get to keep all of their guns, which is very huge, especially trying to get a little bit of momentum going in for the next couple of rounds. I mean, the idea here is to kind of snowball off of the fact that, you know, you got one round win, and then try to, you know, get a couple other rounds by putting New England in an economic deficit.
Yeah, great round for the economy of UMD specifically. As like you said, everyone has their guns. There's going to be so much money in the bank, even if they do end up losing this round, which hopefully they don't, considering the weapons they have in hand.
It is also a game point too, so if they lose this round, they lose the first map.
That is also true. So yeah, good thing they have guns though. I think I'm excited to see what the Odin's able to do on the UMD side now. And it looks like the KJ is spot in mound over there, so Giraffe's going to throw down a smoke to help out Soap, and the Sky also is there too, and all the util is coming down. Salty Soap is certainly relaying that information to her teammate that this is where they're hitting, and Giraffe is able to send reinforcements.
UMD is in a very good position. I mean, they have a pinch from Linify and Luna on these last 3 players of New England.
Yeah, and you also have to keep in mind that Odin is sitting waterfall, so even if they do get this plant down, there's just going to be an Odin spam there, hopefully to find a pick or 2. And yeah, New England's kind of trapped here. They are going to get pinched sooner than later. And with this double swing, it's going to work out so well for Linify and Luna, as it's just down to this Raze in a 4v1, and Luna is able to take her down.
what a really good shot and really just good defense there, playing on the on the cross hold.
Yeah, great positioning from UMD, just again ensuring that the New England players didn't have anywhere to go. They forced them into a fight, an unfair fight at that, with the crossfire, like you were saying.
Yeah, and they also had the backup from the rest of the players on site, as well as B too. So if things didn't go their way, they had more players to come help pinch.
8-12, so UMD just has to take it round by round at this point. It looks like they're keep doing the same exact play call, but it's been working out for the most part for them, spreading out across the map, having that Cypher utility on C every single time. It's been getting great information so far. And
Yeah, Lenify's got to be really careful there, because they've kind of they've done that just about every round, so it's kind of expected now. All it takes is maybe like 1 or 2 grenades to flush her out, and then she's kind of on her own there.
And this looks very reminiscent of the last round. We saw the Cypher Cam spotted 1 or 2 mound, and the Skydog was also invested towards the C site. We don't see too many rotates from UMD yet, but I think we should probably start seeing them soon, as looks like there's going to be so many New England players spotted there. Odin Spam comes through, doesn't find anybody, but I think was able to do a little bit of damage. And Giraffe finds her first pick actually towards the B site, which is I think where she found the last one as well. So good job, she's keeping an eye out on that. The Odin gets taken down though as trades go back and forth. Soap finds 2 for herself and doesn't look like she's done, as she's continuing to just hold down the C site. Has that Cypher Cam, but I think she had the information that the spike did get picked up by that Viper. And now Giraffe certainly is anticipating a B push, but that doesn't look like what's happening, as Soap continues to find picks onto the C site. And Soap find a 4K actually on that C site. Cypher utility just playing such an advantage for her, finding so much valuable information.
Yeah, good job from Giraffe killing the lurking KJ. I mean, that would have really put UMD in a very, very weird position, because now they have to spend so much time and energy and focus into the C site, and they could have just gotten distracted, and the KJ could have lurked and did her job.
And we actually have a timeout again. This time I'm fairly certain it's from the New England side, as they're kind of got to be talking about, hey, we only have 1 more round to go. How are we going to win this round? Because you don't want to let UMD creep up and send this into overtime, and it looks like they're in a great position to do just that, as they've won the last couple of rounds, and this play call that they have on defense has been working out beautifully for them. They haven't had really any issues with this consistent play. Like you said, I think Linify does have to be careful being aggressive in the same route on that A site, because like you said, a nade could be pretty detrimental to that, or even an aggressive swing of all 5 of them could
definitely
be an issue there. But regardless of that fact, it looks like it's working out for the most part.
Yeah, and this game is starting to become a really close game. I mean, if UMD can take out with this, or if they can make out with this 1 round, you know, they send New England into kind of a save next round. And in this stage of the game, this is the kind of position you want to be in. You want to have the other team in a save so that you can almost guarantee yourself another round.
And yet again, exactly the same play call every single time, same players on every single site, but it's working out. Salty Soap finds information again on C site. It's the same thing over and over again. Skydog comes through. This raises on the C site. Oh, I think Soap did a little bit of damage, but not enough to actually find that pick. Everyone's still alive on the UMD side. 2 ultimates are used though. For the New England side, they want to win this round. One of those ultimates being a Viper Pit, which is what cost UMD the round last time New England had any success on the C site. UMD is going to retake it using any utility they have. It's going to work out as Tuxedo Sam finds 1, but that Judge is so deadly in that Viper ultimate. Trades are just happening back and forth. Spike is planted, but UMD is on the defuse, and with the New England players positioned mound, this doesn't look like it's going to go in their favor, and that's exactly what happens. Great round from UMD, able to actually counter that Viper Pit. It's so hard to do, and that's what they struggled with last time, and they were able to refine that.
Yeah, being able to use that breachel just to flush out everybody inside on site was really good. I mean, they were able to flush out 2 or 3 people out in the main and have a free defuse for them. I don't think it was planted for them either. I think New England was trying to use that and plant the spike inside of the Viper ult and use it to its advantage. But I mean, UMD was able to use their communication and abilities to say no to that Viper ult.
UMD just needs to find 2 more rounds to send this into overtime. No A push yet from New England. Instead, it looks like they're going to go B this time. UMD has that read pretty early on, but that Viper wall is going to make things hard when it's used in combination with any Omen smoke. Skyflash comes through, gives information. Viper ultimate for the New England side finds 1. Viper finds Giraffe, who was the other player sitting near door there. So UMD's gonna have to retake. Soap gets things started, finding 1 off that retake, and it is the KJ, which is certainly a good agent to kill to help you retake. But these New England players are just coming in from every direction. It's too much for UMD. New England able to take the first game of the series.
Yeah, it was a pretty good post plant from there, especially, that fight towards breakable. I mean, we've seen that happen a lot of times where the Sky would flash in and then they get in New England we get one or two picks just off of that little play.
Yeah, I think UMD, I'm not sure, but I really hope they're going to be, it looks like they had a lot of defense on the defensive side, so I really hope they're starting on defense next map. Not 100% sure what next map's going to be, but I really hope they use their success to, build off of that. I also want to point out, UMD has subs to work with. Carrots was not in that match, and Carrots has been huge for the UMD side, and especially if we get a long-range map, I know they're going to play her and put her on that operator.
Yeah, definitely probably leaning towards a Chamber pick or something. And, I mean, Chamber on those long-range maps, I'm personally biased because I love him, but, we've seen in past matches just Carrot being able to dominate and take control of games using Chamber's util and the operator. I mean, she doesn't even need a gun half the time. She just pops people with the headhunter.
So yeah, if you're as curious to see what Carrots is able to do on the next map as we are, make sure you guys tune in for map 2 of the series. Hopefully UMD can win this one and send it to 3.
Terp Adventures. Take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body. Feed your mind. Feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance. Sing. Perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp Adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
I think by the end of the season, now we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Walk game, or will Red turn things around?
Your ad tech stack is simple, streamlined, and easy to manage, right? Yeah, right. If you're in ad tech, then you know you have a problem. Ad tech is messy, and your tech stack includes way too many tools to effectively manage. At Playwire, we're here to uncomplicate your ad tech stack. We've consolidated the entire publisher ad tech stack into a single platform and added in proprietary technology and advanced tools to generate you even higher CPMs. Get access to an ad tech stack that is simpler and smarter.
And I think by the end of the season, like now, we play together, everyone kind of jokes around a little bit more and kind of shines their natural ray. We're excited just to see them play better as well.
With the middle school program, the the best part has been seeing the moments of teamwork where the middle schoolers really seem to get the game, and so that's when you can see they're starting to get a little bit hooked on how esports can be so fun.
Walk game, or will Red turn things around?
Terp Adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform. Find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete, play, with wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
everybody, welcome back. We have finished our first game of a best of 3 series, and that game went to New England. Hopefully with Carrots hopefully back in the game. I don't know if she's gonna be able to actually play this round, but she should be able to, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think there was a little bit of some weird issues, yeah, some technicalities with that the other team kind of brought up there, you know, with, I think there's some issues on her main account, you know, that she had to switch to an alt account, and I don't think they were really happy about that, which in all likeness is fair. But I think we should be seeing Carrot subbing into this game for Giraffe, I believe.
Yeah, I hope so, because Carrots is such a key part of this team. I believe she is their IGL. She is usually the Sentinel pick, so that is definitely such an important member of your team. It must be frustrating for them to have not had that member in the first game, because that's what they were expecting. You go into this roster with Carrots 100% on your side. She's your IGL. That's not someone who you just sub out. So that's another thing to consider when you think about UMB's performance. And given that also, that makes UMB's performance a lot better than it was originally. They already were in that game. That game was really close. But especially given the fact that they didn't have their IGL, makes it even more impressive.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we can't discount Giraffe's gameplay. I mean, she played extremely well, especially on the Omen. Using her positioning and her abilities, she made it look like she main Omen.
Yeah, Giraffe had a great game, both in terms of her utility and her kills. She played really smart. She played really smart smokes for her team. Great gameplay from Giraffes. Again, I think the UMD team is so close. They have had really promising rounds, really promising glimpses of this great teamwork and great cohesion. I hope Carrots is the missing piece, though, to really get this team more round wins and more kills on their side, because Carrots usually frags out, and that's another thing that we saw on the other side. And we did get, actually, this just in, Carrots may not be playing, so
yeah, I think there's still some issues revolving around her account, which is kind of weird, to be honest. I mean, like, Carrot's with us in the studio on an alt account. It does seem a little bit weird, but
yeah.
I mean,
so we do have Care Bear, who has been subbed in for Giraffes, and Care Bear has been a great player. She is usually their duelist pick, so I'm really excited for this team to have her back online. Again, it's unfortunate that there's these technicality issues with Carrots on our side, but nonetheless, I hope this team can kind of shake that off and continue to do their best.
Yeah, I mean, maybe get into the game soon, but again, we're still going to be only seeing the coach's perspective from this next game. The other team has requested that we don't have an observing player from our studio, so we are going to respect that and watch from the coach's standpoint. I believe that
so it looks like we might have a little bit of a break before we actually able to get into the game. I think they're still working out some technicality issues, so please enjoy this quick interview by the Lilac team while we wait for things to get started.
My name is Subin Kim, my in-game name is Carrots, and I'm the controller of this team.
My name is Hannah, my IGN is Tuxedo Sam, and I play Sentinel for the team.
My name is Sima, my in-game name is Care Bear, and I'm a Flex.
My name is Megan, my IGN is Giraffe, and I'm an Initiator.
My name is Sophia, my IGN is Soap, and I'm an Initiator.
Hi everyone, I'm Ayush, my in-game name is Delcixo, and I'm the coach.
For me, I think it was just really interesting to see our names on social media and on a website. I'm just like, whoa, my name is on a website but so I think that was the number one thing that kind of just it brought the realization of what kind of team I'm in, what kind of position I'm in.
Meeting them. It's hard to make a woman and non-binary friends in VALORANT, so it's just really nice that we have a team specifically for that.
The studio.
Yeah.
Oh, the studio. Oh, I didn't even know that existed. I didn't know that existed until remember when I first when we first talked about the studio, I was like, what's that? Myself being IGL, but I think it's there were some difficulties in the beginning because no one I wasn't used to giving out comms. I was just very confused. But I think now it's just like the amount of trust that my teammates give me when I give out comms and the amount of like coordination that we have. Like I just love being like IGLing because I trust that things will work out.
Hey guys, welcome back. So we did get an update. Carrot will not be playing due to still some technicalities. We might get that resolved for the third map, hoping we get to a third map. But the next map will be Haven. I think UMD is starting out on defense, maybe.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
I didn't catch it either. So, but I mean this. Let's say Carrot was in this game. I mean, this would be her map on Chamber too, or Jet.
Yeah,
so
100%. She thrives on that Chamber, and it's just such an important part of this team that's missing. But yet again, they do have Care Bear, and she is also a very important part of this team in terms of the duelist pick. So, hey, hopefully they can, shake it off. It's just hard once you have all these like issues come up and surprises arise. Like, when you're actually in game, it can be hard for teams to shake that off and kind of get their head in the right mindset. But here we are heading on to Breeze. You are right. We are defending to start things off. Kara actually opting to play Viper. Linify is going to remain on that duelist role instead.
Yeah, I would really like to see some long range weapons going on this this game. Hopefully from Linify too. Utilizing the op. I mean, Breeze is like the perfect map for an operator.
Does look like Linify is gonna sit on A site with the help of her initiator there. Care Bear looking to line up some sort of wall.
That's okay.
And I like this Cypher sitting B. I think there's a lot of good Cypher setups you can do on B site here. And we saw the success that UMD had with that Cypher pick on Lotus, so hopefully that carries over into this game. And we also saw the success they had on defense, so hopefully those two factors are going to put UMD on a good start. Aggression coming from Linify yet again. She does unfortunately get flashed. Bit of miscommunication there, I'm sure, but it's all right, as it looks like the attack is actually going to be coming onto B site, which is going to draw a rotate from the UMD defenders. Soap's going to have to use a bit of her Cypher utility, gets spotted by that Sova dart. Care Bear able to find one, she gets traded. Soap also gets traded, but by that Sova dart. So we are going to clearly see Sova's going to be a common theme throughout this Breeze match, and UMD is going to be forced to retake as the spike has came down. Linify and Luna both taken out. It's all up to Tuxedo Sam, but that Sheriff on the other side is just going to make things really difficult. UMD loses their first defensive round.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something to really beat yourself up at all from losing the pistol round on Haven. I mean, Haven's a really heavily attack-sided map, so as long as you can like really hold defense long enough and then kind of explode on attack, this map should be really easy to play.
And I am excited to see how the Sovas do on both sides. We saw the Sova on the attack side be so important for countering that Cypher utility. So UMD's gonna have to figure out how to work around that and also use their own Cypher utility by Tuxedo Sam to really get more information. And it does look like the read is there that this is not going to be another B hit. Instead, it's Linify that spots someone A main, and they also have information through mid that there's people. And looks like 4 of the UMD defenders are actually grouped together through mid. They're going to push through those doors there collectively, with Linify being the only one who's going to push in from orange. Linify just has a classic and gets wall banged, and all the UMD players just get taken down so quickly, and another round that doesn't go their way.
Yeah, now UMD has these guns, and now they're able to really take advantage of these long range fights. I mean, I think the Jet on the other side saved, and maybe 1 or 2 saved, and they were able to pull away with like a Sheriff or a Classic or something. So they are going to have a little bit of extra money to work with this round, but it shouldn't really be that much of a threat towards UMD as long as they play their lives right here.
Looks like they're heavily stacking people towards B and mid, and I know that UMD spotted quite a few people mid, so that might draw in some rotates, or at least looks like some aggression actually on the B side. They're gonna try to catch someone B main or B window, but it looks like they're gonna find people spawn instead as Care Bear gets taken down. Tuxedo Sam was right behind her, doesn't double swing, but is still looking for the trade, can't find the trade. That Jet has been insane with that Sheriff. I believe every kill she's gotten so far has been with that Sheriff in hand. And it looks like they're gonna just trail in through mid, taking down many UMD players left in a 2v3. Linify's on site, cannot hold it down though against a Marshall, all up to Salty Soap to pull things off here as she's just creeping up in halls. Looks like she's gonna maybe get on top on bridge there, trying to find a pick or two, and or she might try to save this Vandal. It's kind of up to her and what her team thinks in terms of economy. Sova Dart's going to make things increasingly more difficult for her, and against an Ares also, it's really hard to get your crosshair in the right place at the right time. And UMD has not found a round yet on the defensive side, and that was their buy round. Yeah, they really got to be careful on where they're playing aggressive and where they're kind of putting their lives on the line. I mean, a lot of the times they fall victim to maybe like some really weird utility spot or even like a double swing. The Cypher setup and the Viper are going to continue to be on the B side. I think that's doing a good job of holding down B side for the most part, but they just have to be careful of these quick rotates through mid. They found my wire. And it does look like they're going to spot a couple players and a bit of utility invested onto B side. The Viper wall especially something to consider. Sova Dart comes through for the New England side as well. And it looks like most of the UMD players are actually rotating through spawn, trying to get some sort of flank cooking up, as it looks like both Linify and maybe two other are going to be alongside with her. Care Bear gets taken down on site. So that's going to decrease UMD's numbers, and the flashes are just coming in towards Soap. Her location is revealed. She's going to get double swing and gets taken down. And now it's just these players who are hoping to pull off a flank who are left to win this round for UMD, and they're not in a good position to do it as that flank really relies on having that distraction through arches. And their location is certainly revealed with that use of that Sova utility and just the shots being traded back and forth. Tuxedo Sam's trying to find one with the Ares, but it doesn't quite work out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a timeout come early on here. Yeah, I think having a timeout now just to kind of like, maybe shake things up a little bit and hopefully kind of put a stop to New England's momentum. I think a timeout would be really good here, especially to kind of shake things up in terms of like where you're setting your age and stuff. I mean, the Cypher is getting countered with trips left and right on the that's B site, right? Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, it just slipped my mind. No, it happens, and these players, I think, just a little bit mentally thrown off by everything that's kind of happened this game and in the pregame, and it's a matter of shaking that off and falling into a rhythm, as it looks like New England's going to try to push A site for the first time this game. Linify forced to back up behind the smoke, or behind the Viper wall. Tuxedo Sam finds one as she's rotating in from bridges. Linify gets taken down though. And Luna quick to follow. There's a bit of a lag. Apologies for that. It's been hard to tell what's going on, but it does look like things are even at a 3v3. Spike is down. Care Bear starts to tap that Spike, but the Sova ultimate comes through the New England side. Gonna force Care Bear to get off of that. And the Sova ultimate was able to find one actually. Cypher ultimate also invested into this round. What a shot from Care Bear, but that Viper Molly is just so annoying when you have that little HP. Yeah, it was a really good try on trying to defuse the Spike, but I mean, they had Viper Mollies and Sova ults, and they had the Jet just playing really aggressive there for post plan. It's really hard to kind of counter that, especially because you don't have anything that can stop the Viper unless you throw a really god of a KO knife over in that general area. I think that's like right outside caves maybe where the typical Viper lineup is. Aggression coming in from the A site yet again. And it does look like it's going to pay off as Luna is able to sit behind Linify and find what Linify has like 0 HP to work with though at this point. So while they're able to find a pick there, Linify is on the brink of death, as it looks like New England's going to actually make a lot of B presence so far with their Jet, which is going to prompt Soap to put up her Cypher cage. As she does spot one, actually gets picked off by one. Tuxedo Sam also gets picked off in mid with that Sheriff. Yet again, that Sheriff has been huge for the New England side. Care Bear also gets picked off, and now is the spot where not having that HP on your side becomes a really big issue, as one shot is all it will take to take down Linify, and that's all it's going to be against a Vandal, just a body shot.
Yeah, and we do see a timeout here called by the UMD's coach, and they just got to do something about. They have really aggressive site takes. They just kind of have to slow things down. And I mean, especially Linify, I think she's playing a little too aggressive here. And if she were able to slow things down and use the advantage of long distance weapons, it would really make a turn in this game.
Yeah, I'm itching to see her with an operator, something, outlaw even, if the economy is not looking great. I think that would be a great thing to have in your hands as when you're on Jet. And I just think this UMD team needs to get a new groove. We saw them on last map. They were struggling in the beginning, but once they got in that groove and had a bit of a reset, they went on a pretty long run and were able to make things really close. I'm looking for something similar this game.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. And I mean, they really got to start looking at Cypher has to really change up her setups a little bit, because she's being countered by the Sova almost every round. I mean, the trip right outside of main isn't really doing much because it's just getting Sova darted almost every round. So maybe kind of switching that up and playing and putting her trips and orienting them. Excuse me. Oh my gosh. It's been a long day, yeah. But orienting her Cypher trips to play for retake would probably be a much better idea.
I think you're exactly right. It's all about countering that Sova utility that has been such an issue. Just selling out all of this Cypher setup, and look, that's going to do just again. It's going to sell out Care Bear and her positioning. She's going to have to reposition or find a pick first. Looks like Linify and Luna were able to pull off a flank this time. It works out for Tuxedo Sam as she's able to find a pick mid. Regardless, though, it doesn't look like New England has budged much from this B main area, but Linify and Luna do have pretty good eyes if they do choose to rotate. Tuxedo Sam gets taken out, but Care Bear is there to secure that trade. Salty Soap looks main, finds one for herself, trying to find another, just spraying through her own cage. Once again, these New England players are still pinched there, I think.
Yeah, Undy's got to be really careful not to give up so much room, and Linify just not able to hit those shots, but Lunarouse is able to potentially clean up from behind.
Yeah, I think she has great positioning here. Oh, but she got sold out, but it doesn't matter. She finds 2 great shots. It does not matter that your location was revealed, I guess, because she just out-aimed them at that point. And first round we see going in UMD's favor. Hopefully that starts them off on a run.
Yeah, I mean, we saw last game. I think it was just about, probably not, but just around the same round differential where UMD was starting to make their comeback.
And a comeback is exactly what UMD desperately needs. This time, Soap is going to actually set up on this A site. This is the first time we've seen her do that yet on Breeze. And instead, it looks like Linify and Luna are going to focus their efforts towards mid instead collectively.
I'm very interested in seeing how this Cypher utility works.
Luna looks like she's going to be aggressive outside of that Viper wall. Cypher utility was able to get some information, but Soap ultimately gets taken down there. She's just way outnumbered. Tuxedo Sam also gets spotted in Hall, so let's get more information going to New England, and especially with that trip being down, they know there's people flank. Linify and Luna tried to double swing flank, but the timing doesn't quite work out. Now Linify is just left alone on this flank and not expecting that person from Halls is going to take her out. Viper Pit invested for the New England side, all up to Care Bear here to work things out, and that's exactly what she does. She finds her first pick. She gets taken down though. Tuxedo Sam finds 2 amazing work from Tuxedo Sam, but can she find the 3rd and the defuse is the question. Looks like she might just have to stick it to half at least, or no, she's gonna pop off of it and be aggressive instead. Tries to find this pick and hopefully run back to the spike in time, but cannot do the first part of that approach.
Yeah, it was really kind of weird, you know, in that 1v1. You just have the Cypher peeking and just shooting and stuff. It's so weird because you never know if the Cypher's going to completely commit to a peek or not, and the Cypher played that really well, I do have to say.
Yeah, jump peeking, that makes it really hard because, you know, I think she had the intentions of at least halving it that time. Then, you know, those are always tricky, and it's never in your advantage when you have to defuse the spike as well. Time is not on your side. But it looks like UMB's going to opt for the same play call as the previous round, with the Cypher setup being invested towards B site, or towards A site, however. But it's B site that's actually going to have the hit. Care Bear gets taken down. Tuxedo Sam, though, finds one. Spike's going to come down pretty quickly, though. They have to work around this KO ultimate, which I think is just about done now, so that's out of the way, hopefully freeing up some utility to help them in this retake. And Soap gets taken down. Linify's trying to use her jet knives to pull something off. She was positioning of at least one of them, but with her teammates' numbers dwindling down, it's going to become increasingly hard. She's only down to 1 jet knife, and Tuxedo Sam's down to 1 HP. Oh my goodness, she gets the knife with just a single HP. That is so funny from Tuxedo Sam. What an interesting experience there for her.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a humorous round there, but Sovidart, you know, worst enemy for Tuxedo Sam in that position.
Yeah, if you're gonna go down in style. I respect it.
Yeah, UMD does have a lot of ults to work with here. I mean, they have the Viper ult, which would be really good at just locking down a certain site.
And once again, Cypher setup is A site, and it looks like New England's going to continue to push this A site. Cypher Cam catches one of them. Linify's picking up on site. The Salty Soap does get taken down. So Linify's just left to fend site for herself, and she's way outnumbered, and once again, all up to Tuxedo Sam. She finds 2 with a Bulldog in hand, has to go 3 more, only around half HP though. Location is also pretty well known on the New England side, and that makes things just way too difficult, and UMD's at 1-9.
Yeah, I mean, you got to do something here to kind of switch the momentum, but I mean, going into the second half, they might be able to pull something back. I mean, like I said earlier in the round, you know, Breeze is a very attack-sided map, so they definitely still have something to work with going into the second half, but they just kind of have to bring it back a little bit on defense and see what they can do.
And honestly, they just need a reset, I feel like. On the last map on Lotus, getting onto that defensive side, just a mental reset for them. I think that's really what they're in need of. It looks like they're going to revert back to their original play call that we saw in the beginning of this game. It looks like it's going to be a presence from New England. And this KO ultimate yet again is in play. That happened really fast. Luna gets taken down. Tuxedo Sam also does get taken down, leaving things in a 2v4. They're playing together as a team, which is going to help them out, as Salty Soap is able to find the first of this mountain of a retake that they're going to have to get here. They're investing that Cypher ultimate, so this is becoming an expensive round for UMD. They also have this Viper Pit available to them if they so choose to use it. They get flashed there. Care Bear, though, not flashed, but cannot find that pick as she does get double swing. Spike has to be defused. It's going to be so hard with this Viper utility. Molly comes through for Viper, and that's what's going to do it for Salty Soap.
Yeah, I mean, when you're low on time, the Viper, Molly, and Smoke just kind of guarantees you a round win there, especially with if you just have like really consistent lineups.
And this is starting to get just out of hand for UMD, 1-10. This is becoming a huge deficit. This would have to be a crazy comeback here, consistent comeback at that. And again, taking a look at that scoreboard, this Jet that was previously on Raze coming in with the most frags for her team, and that has been the main issue for UMD.
And Care Bear looking to just stall as much as possible here with the Viper abilities. Gets taken down by the other Viper.
And Cypher ultimate used on the New England side is going to sell out UMD's positioning, and right now they're all mid, and that's where all the attention is going to be placed for New England as swings come out, but Tuxedo Sam able to deal with it so far. Counter ultimate comes in for the Luna's KO, and also the Sova on the UMD side, as UMD's just trying to make any way onto this retake, and they just get taken down instantly. That Viper just was such an issue for UMD that round.
Yeah, and I mean, now we're at the half switch, but it does look really out of hand for UMD here. I mean, you know, if they're able to pull back and kind of switch their mentality about this game, they still have a chance, but it's not looking too good.
Yeah, UMD would have to just pull up some kind of drastic turnaround and be so consistent, so perfect for the remainder of this game. Again, I think if they just I don't think they got in their own heads, but it's just hard to shake things off, and it's hard to, you know, make adjustments to your roster, and those are all things to consider into UMD's performance here.
Yeah, I think Carrot, you know, not being in this game has been a very big variable or factor into UMD's success in the past, and I think just because of the, you know, the picky needs from New England here, she just wasn't able to play today.
UMD gonna look towards A side on their first attacking round. They've spotted, I believe, at least one defender on this site. The wall is gonna come through from Care Bear to protect them a little bit. She also has an orb in hand. Luna gets taken down by that Jet, and trades are just going back and forth to level things out on both sides. Tuxedo Sam's only down to half HP though, so that's certainly something to be aware of, and these New England players are just still trying to creep up onto site. Care Bear though shuts that down quickly, HP dwindling for Tuxedo Sam as they're just kind of grouped together near the spike. Looks like Care Bear might try to sit main, and she doesn't really have much utility to work with other than her wall, but it looks like they're going to try to play the spike pretty passively as they do have a numbers and a time advantage on their side.
Scanning ahead.
And they heard the spike. It doesn't look like they're quite peeking it yet. I think they are pretty confident it's a fake, and they do have the Sova darts, and that is exactly what is going to do it for UMD, is those Sova darts. So, hey, this might be a start to a run, hopefully for UMD. They won their first attacking side, and that's exactly, you know, what has to happen for them if they want to come away with this one.
Yeah, I mean, because both teams are running a mirrored comp here, you have so much util to work with for post plan. I mean, you have a KO molly, you have Viper mollies, you have Sova darts, you have like everything that you could possibly want.
Yeah, that's certainly something to keep in mind, and that's what really New England was leaning on in their post plants, is having all of those post plant like favored utilities, mollies, flashes, everything on their side, and that's what really did win UMD that round. UMD has information that there's two people being really aggressive out of A main, so they're going to fast rotate towards B side, it looks like, collectively. But they do have Care Bear watching this lurk. And also Soap to help her out as well. And Soap is the one who's going to make contact with pretty much the whole team on that lurk, but they're not expecting Care Bear from the other side though, and she's not being greedy, and I really do like that play from Care Bear backing up there. Luna also finds one with her Bulldog, and Spike does come down on the B site for UMD, and it looks like Care Bear's trying to rotate pretty quickly just to catch up with the rest of her team and support them in their post plant.
Yeah, a little bit of some technical difficulties with the gameplay, but I mean, UMD planted this for CT because they just have full control, and they gave up main and mid for this, and so far it looks like it's working. But Tuxedo Sam, last one alive, has to do with the Jet, gets the Jet and gets the Sova with a beautiful headshot through the wall. That was very great post plant from Tuxedo Sam.
Yeah, great job from Tuxedo Sam, and now she's able to hold on to that Vandal she has, and that honestly is probably a hero Vandal for the UMD side, as the economy cannot be looking good with the amount of rounds that they've, you know, had to save on so far. But UMD's, this is a great start to their attack, but can they keep it going is the question. And there actually is a timeout coming in, so that's going to also help UMD kind of discuss what they need to keep doing.
Yeah, and I think because it's this late in the game, you know, New England is on the verge of a match win, so I think that you might want to buy up here.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to. They have to. They're in these moments of desperation of having to buy up, having to, you know, put everything they have into every single one of these rounds, not really saving ultimates, just treating every round like it's potentially the last. That's how UMD is just going to have to play this one out for the remainder of it.
Yeah, and I think a really good snowball would help get them back into this game and back into the mental space they need. I mean, they have the advantage here. You know, they're on the attack side and they have so much post plant that they can use, and they're just able to use that and keep it consistent and snowball off of these rounds, as well as the economic advantage that they can potentially get from, you know, sending New England into a save round every other round. Then they can very well pull back this game.
And UMD would need a perfect half to not send this into overtime. And how will they match up to that task? We will see as we head into UMD's fourth attacking round, or third attacking round actually. Does look like they're going to put a lot of attention towards mid. Probably just try to find a pick before really deciding where to go next. They look towards A side to see what's the situation over there. They do spot one towards B main. So that's something to also keep in mind. And Luna actually was able to find some success onto this A side, so that is where UMD is going to try to go. Care Bear spots one up on stairs, cannot quite find them yet, and that stairs player just being such an issue for the side of UMD as they take down two of the UMD attackers. That spike does come down for UMD, but they do not have the numbers to really hold down much of anything, as that Viper just cleans up Soap and Care Bear.
Yeah, I mean, you know, at that point, you know, you're distracted with people that are backside, yellow, and stairs, and that stairs player, the KO, was just such a nuisance and just defending and causing so much chaos by it. All you need to do is just throw bullets somewhere, and then it causes enough chaos because now you're taking little bits of damage and you're slowing down the attack.
And UMD would need to be perfect from this point on and to just send this into overtime. Oh, Luna disconnected, so I think we're going to have a tech pause coming in. So another chance for UMD to talk about how we're going to try to pull something crazy off.
Yeah, it looked like Luna Rouse did disconnect, so it would be a nice... I think the tech pause is going to kind of help UMD here just to kind of slow down and, you know, find their groove and stuff and just talk about it, as well as, you know, stopping the momentum from New England here. And I think that's probably one of the biggest things too, is because you know New England is in a confident position right now. They're up 12-3, I think. Yeah, 12-3. So they gotta do something here just to pull it back into the game.
And while we have some time, and on a positive note, congratulations to the Overwatch team for UMD for coming home with the very first BEC LAN trophy. That was a huge accomplishment for them. Glad we were able to come home, you know, with something in hand, and they have a lot to be proud about, and they're heading to Texas very shortly. So keep your eye on our Overwatch team, as they're having so much success right now. They are on fire.
Yeah. Now, I unfortunately wasn't able to go to Ohio for the LAN, so I know you were. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
It was great. It was so fun. I had such a good time over there. Great time with the team. Great time watching the Overwatch team, you know, have so much success. So keep an eye on them for sure as we head into the next round here. Tuxedo Sam gets taken out really early. That Jet is insane with the Sheriff. I know I've said that so many times, but man, they just do not miss with that Sheriff in hand. UMD pretty scared of taking on that B site with the information they have so far. They're going to collectively rotate either towards mid or fully even towards A side, as most of them opting to go the safe route towards A main, and the ones who don't get picked off by this Jet and KO who are sitting mid. Linify responds, but it's just all up to Care Bear to keep this series alive. She only has a Spectre, and it's just way too difficult up against a Vandal. UMD unfortunately not able to come away with the series.
Yeah, it was kind of a really weird game from the start on Breeze, because now that you've kind of snowballed so much on attack, it's really hard to come back from that. I mean, they did it on Lotus though. They did a really good job coming back on Lotus, but they just weren't able to, just a little bit out of reach on Breeze.
No, great effort from UMD regardless. Good job from New England. They played really well, and both sides definitely put up a fight here. So yeah, really promising stuff from Lilac. Fortunately, they couldn't come away with this one. But regardless, we thank you guys for watching, and we'll hope you come back for the next one.